I have a rule that I use that most of the managers in the company know they have to live by just because it's sort of my rule. And that is that if I get a phone call or an email or a letter, whatever form of communication from somebody, from someone who, whether it's an employee or a customer who's upset about something, I drop, unless I'm doing something I can't drop, I drop everything, and within 10 to 15 minutes after I've gotten it, I respond in some fashion. Because, when I got the email today from the guy who had lost his, or had gotten his wedding ring stolen, one or the other, I immediately responded. He hasn't responded back yet. But what's the best thing, people who are upset about something feel like they have been disrespected. Sometimes sometimes there's lots of other elements to it, logic, fairness, etc. But on one sort of deeper level, they feel disrespected. So the question is, how do you win back the sense of respect? And the first thing I think you do is you are exceptionally responsive in terms of how quickly you respond. With each passing day when someone's upset about something, they only build a deeper and deeper resentment, and they've told 20 other people about how terrible your business is. And so even if you can't give a response that says, here's the solution, the response of saying, I hear what you're saying, I'm really sorry, let me do a little bit of research on this, and I will get back to you within the next 24 hours. That is worth something. So that's the first step, is just to actually be exceptionally responsive. Secondly is to just do the research. Like, difficult conversations are about, ultimately, if it's an issue between he said, she said, is to figure out a way to get both parties in the same room at the same time if you can, or if you can't, hear both sides of the story separately, and then try to come up with a resolution that actually seems fair. Now, I'm a big believer in what Herb Kelleher said at Southwest Airlines, which is the customer comes second. It's the employee who comes first. And I believe that strongly because ultimately that's the longer-term relationship. But there will be times where I need to work with the employee to sort of have them help understand where the customer is coming from. And a lot of times what happens is if a customer is very upset about something, they immediately shout, and so the employee gets immediately defensive. And so when you're in a defensive place, it's very hard to be understanding and being empathetic for the person who's actually making you feel that way. So some of it's just actually trying to get a little bit of role-playing going. But the bottom line is, the most important piece of it ultimately is to just be as direct and respectful as possible. To come to a resolution that makes people feel like they've been heard, and ultimately makes them feel like they haven't been disrespected in the process.